Welcome to Syd and Olivia Talk Shit.
Welcome to the podcast, Syd and Olivia Talk Shit.
I'm Syd.
I'm Olivia.
And together we have this big podcast, Syd and Olivia Talk Shit.
Welcome to the show, guys. Hope you've been doing awesome. We have a very fun situation today. We are not where we usually are.
We're not where we usually are in the greater Los Angeles area. We're in a different state.
We are in the greater New York area.
We are today joined by a crazy guest.
She's fucking crazy.
Meaning like a crazy
meaning
get.
like how did we get her?
Like a crazy get.
What a get.
A get guest.
Yeah.
If you are familiar with podcasts, you definitely know of her.
Unless you've only ever heard of the Joe Rogan Experience.
In which case, why are you here?
Why would you ever be watching our podcast? Why are you here? Go away.
This wouldn't be for you at all. So this guest had a very famous podcast called Call Her Daddy.
And then a very famous friendship breakup. And then a very famous everything.
A very famous kind of life.
A famous life.
And a lot of sexual experiences she talks about.
Yeah.
A lot of very sexy. This is a warning. This is going to be a sexy episode.
This episode might be too sexy for you, Dad.
Yeah.
So, Dad, stop watching.
This is not a dad episode.
Alert. Stop watching, Dad.
This is not a dad episode. This is like a talking about sex episode.
Mm-hmm.
And our guest, Sofia Franklyn, is really the only person to do that.
She's the only person I would ever trust to talk about sex because I've never had it. You've never had it.
I've never had it.
She seems to have had it.
Many a time, she says.
So we're going to bring her on. We're so excited to have her.
So please
welcome
Sofia Franklyn.
Hi, everyone.
If you are a person who has ever listened to podcasts or knows the general idea of what a podcast is, you've heard of Sofia Franklyn.
Exactly. So don't go there.
Don't go there. Don't pretend you don't.
Don't pretend you don't. You know exactly who this is.
We're just assuming that the people who are watching are mean.
Don't fucking go there.
Sofia, how are you?
I'm doing really well. I love that you guys. So Sydney and Olivia liquored me up.
Yeah.
I asked if I should take a second dose of Mucinex. They said absolutely. And I'm also taking antibiotics, and I think they were fully aware, and they still told me to have another drink, another mimosa. So. Yeah. I'm going to say some shit that I've never said before. I'm ready. Here we go.
Yeah, welcome to the episode where we kill Sofia Franklyn.
Too many meds on her.
We're absolutely, by accident, going to kill you. Sofia, you've been in the podcast game for a second.
Yes.
So did you always think you wanted to be like an entertainer or somebody who like entertains people?
Absolutely not. 0%. I didn't think I was that cool growing up at all. I was always more of a creative for sure, writing. That was kind of my strong suit. But I was like, what the fuck are you going to do with an English degree? You're an idiot. So I forced myself
Even
to...
makes you feel better. I majored in playwriting. So
Okay, wow.
I majored in screenwriting, which movies don't exist anymore.
You know what that shows? That shows how confident you guys were in your abilities growing up and just confident all around.
Misled.
Stupid.
It could show how stupid and misled we were.
You could take it either way.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no money in this shit. I'm gonna
see, that's actually smart.
Okay. I was like, I'm gonna major in economics. I'm gonna work in finance, and so I started working at Morgan Stanley, and I didn't think I would work in entertainment. I will say, and I'm gonna get a little witchy on everyone. I don't give a fuck. A little Wiccan type shit. The Secret, everyone knows The Secret, correct?
Which stuff?
The Secret, the movie,
Secret.
the book.
You know The Secret.
It's like ask, believe, receive. You can manifest things into your life.
Yes,
it's like the girl Alexis Nyers who stole all the stuff from celebrities, the bling ring. She was raised on The Secret.
Okay, so The Secret can help you steal.
Nyers?
The Secret can help you rob a house. Yeah. And that's all I need to know about it for me to absolutely read that book.
Right?
I love to rob.
I mean, she's a fucking idol, by the way, Alexis Nyers. I know, I'm referring to The Secret as if everyone knows what the fuck that is. It's just manifesting shit into your life. Every single day, I would listen to podcasts while I was working at Morgan Stanley, my 9 to 5, and I would think to myself, I want to have a podcast and be in New York. And I kind of would visualize it. Even though I didn't really think my life would go into entertainment, I would. Probably just because I was hating my life so much doing the finance shit.
Yeah.
Where were you living at this point?
Utah.
Oh, the perfect place to live.
the most depressive place to live. No, Utah can be great, but...
It has great skiing.
That's really the only thing it's good for.
amazing
Every
to
time I get on a show, I talk shit about Los Angeles and Utah.
Those are two valid places to talk shit about.
But the other thing too is your brand is very sexual, no? Like you talk about like sex and like graphic details.
Very.
That's your thing.
Very.
So what do you do in Utah surrounded by Mormon people who I'm guessing don't love that?
They absolutely love it.
Probably secretly under the covers at night, they probably do, if we're being real.
Yeah.
So I have a very complicated religious upbringing, but my mom was raised LDS, which is Mormon, short for Latter-day Saints. So was she super excited about the fact that I was talking about sex? Was I terrified of my family finding out? Absolutely. But for some reason, I've just been very open when it comes to sex and talking about it. I've never felt shame surrounding it at all. You know, maybe like deep in the subconscious sometimes after a one night stand, I'm like wiping cum off me. Maybe.
You're like, shit.
But
what have I done? you pray as you do that.
Right.
A secret prayer.
Hail Mary 5 times. I also went to private Catholic school, so that's
My
fucking
dad
confusing.
escaped Catholic school.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was raised by a man who escaped Catholic school.
Okay. So it's a little bit complicated, but how did I feel? I didn't start the podcast until I had moved to New York. So I wasn't surrounded by those people. However, when I would go home for the holidays, I don't think my extended family has ever looked at me the same.
Right. You get to New York.
Yes, I get to New York and I just transfer my job. So I'm still at Morgan Stanley, still in finance, but I live in New York now. And I was doing that for, I think, like 2 years. And then I started the podcast.
Okay, so Sofia, obviously we have to talk about Call Her Daddy.
Yes,
We have to.
100%.
So you get to New York, and how do you meet Alex?
So I had met, how the fuck did I meet that girl? not Alex. That actually sounded really funny. The girl who introduced
I truly
us.
don't fucking remember.
I wish I would have fucking answered. That would have been hilarious. I met this girl who, that's what it was. I was doing like an Uber pool situation. I had no money.
Right.
And I met this girl who worked in finance in the Uber pool. We would be on Wall Street. We'd be like, do you want to get fucked up during lunch? Okay, cool. Me too.
Absolutely valid.
And then she said, I know a girl who is looking for a roommate. And I was living in a studio apartment with a mattress on the floor. The most depressing. I've never been that depressed in my entire life.
Yeah, a bad living situation can really fuck you up mentally.
Yes. And I didn't know anyone in New York.
Yeah.
I had my aunt who I would see, but she's also like fucking crazy, but I love her. But
Shout out to your aunt.
But she put us in contact, and the day that we met, we signed a lease on a place.
That is speedy.
Actually, I think gives a lot of context.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you meet, and then how many months later are you like, we should do a podcast together?
It was like
It was an arranged marriage.
It is. Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah.
that sounds like an arranged marriage.
Right. It is. It was really quick. I would say like 6 months into living with each other.
And you're, making this podcast where part of the appeal, obviously, to people is, oh my God, they're best friends.
Right.
And like, we love the friendship. And so then that's jeopardized by the fact that you're making money off of that.
Right.
Yeah, and also that you're in an arrarranged marriage.
Exactly.
Like, you can be friends with the person that you get set up in an arranged marriage with. Absolutely, you can fall in love with them.
Yeah.
But signing a lease the day that's
so
hard.
true.
That leads a lot of stressful things into the mix.
Yeah, I've actually never thought about that. And I'm always telling people, like, never move in with a boyfriend right away. Like, always give it like a year or two. And here I am moving in the same day with someone I didn't even know.
Well, friendships and relationships are wildly similar in a lot of ways.
Just one of them has sexy sex and the other one doesn't.
And maybe the other one does.
It could.
It could.
It's not.
You
not
never
allowed
know.
Here and there.
Here and there, throwing some sexy sex for me.
So you start living with this girl, and when are you guys like, oh, we have like a rapport and we should make a podcast?
Ooh, so I think there was one thing I can think back on. We were in Austin, Texas for South by Southwest. We were in a bar. I was talking about like getting DP'd or just something outrageous.
Fair.
Outrageously sexual. And we had chemistry from the get-go. And I don't know why, we just did. I mean, you guys obviously have that.
Chemistry is an inexplicable thing. It's so weird.
Right. It's very strange. And all of a sudden we just had this group of dudes like surrounding us like, wait, what? Which I'm over here thinking like, I am such a good storyteller and I am just so good with words when really these guys are like jacking off because I'm probably talking about sex. But that's kind of the moment where I think it kind of went off in her brain more so because she wanted to be in entertainment.
Got it.
That she was like, wait, we like have something here.
Interesting. So then you guys immediately start doing a podcast?
So we don't. We wanted to do a YouTube channel.
Nice.
And I think we filmed like one YouTube video. I would die it's probably online and I would rip my skin off if I had to watch that shit.
Perfect.
We tried to do it. We did a YouTube video and then we were approached by this random podcast company that was run by a bunch of trust fund kids that just had a bunch of money, had no idea what they were doing, had no idea about podcasting, but they were like, hey, you girls are hot, you talk about sex, you guys are funny, do you want to try doing this? And we were both like, hell yeah, what's there to lose? And that's when we started.
So you start doing that, and does that end up being Barstool?
That ends up being Barstool.
Wow.
That company was Barstool?
No. That company...
Barstool picked it up after like 3 episodes.
Yes, but just us. That company, I think, completely dissipated.
Classic.
Trust fund kids with money. They still need supervision.
I never trust anyone with money or anyone young or anyone young with money.
Or anyone old. Olivia and I have started referring to those people as professional nephews.
Yeah.
Like get these opportunities where it's like they can't necessarily handle them.
But their uncle's in charge of
uncles
something. They're a professional nephew. They're a professional son.
Right. I mean, I'm sure looking back, they're like, fuck, I wish my uncle would have gotten into this and we wouldn't have let those girls go. But I mean, whatever. That's how it happened. And it was crazy.
God damn their uncle.
Right?
He fucked that up
He
for them.
fucked up. But
yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, so Call Her Daddy became like a huge hit.
Overnight.
Yeah.
Like it was really, it's so fucking annoying because like when I'm trying to give advice on people to start a podcast, start something in entertainment, it's like you got to stay in there and it takes a while. For me, it didn't. It was really like an overnight thing. However, back to The Secret, back to manifesting, I genuinely do think that had everything to do with it.
Yeah, because then it like shit lines up in your mind and you're like, oh, I know what I want, so I can go like that when like the opportunity presents itself. I feel like so much shit of like is luck.
Yeah.
Like I feel like so many things that we've done where we've worked really hard and done it the correct way have like not panned out, and then we'll do some random side job for someone
right, and there was
randomly,
a reason,
and then there's a person from that who's like, hey, you want to do that? And it's like the times that things actually pop off are the most like random fucking things. It's so weird.
Yeah.
But it popped off in many a way.
Yes.
Because it was this huge success. It was like known as like the podcast, especially like the female podcast.
Oh yeah.
Like this was the thing.
The female podcast.
Yeah. And then there's this huge breakup.
Yep.
Which was even bigger news.
That was people who didn't even like listen to the podcast were like, oh, the break, and that's like fucking crazy.
That's so funny. Yeah, people will be like, I had no idea what that show was until like the fucking it like.
And it's like
I remember we hadn't even explored the world of podcasts yet because we're late to everything. And I remember hearing about the Call Her Daddy breakup and both of us going, oh no, what happened? We were like, even though this was a subject that was so foreign to us.
Right.
We were in a big long line to get like COVID tested, I think. And I remember like, trapped in a car for 2 hours.
Us being like, oh shit, people are sad and mad at each other. Oh no. Well, we need to know what happened.
No, I would love to know. And you guys can be completely honest with me. Did you read all of the news and were you like, oh, Sophia's a fucking idiot?
No.
Team Barstool, Team Alex.
No,
honestly,
I always am curious about that.
I remember us being like, wow, it sucks that everyone hates each other. I remember that being the biggest takeaway. I remember listening to all of them.
Yeah.
We listened to your side, his side, her side.
Yeah.
Right.
And we were like, oh my God, all of these people are just, first of all, we were shocked to hear people saying exactly how they felt.
Yeah.
Because that is something you just don't see that often.
No, it's really not. Yeah.
So seeing somebody go like, I'm going to throw them under the bus and I don't fucking care was shocking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like, so what happens to get to that point?
the breaking point.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's such a fucking like intricate, complicated thing.
No,
and like
so I
literally could go on for hours and hours.
Yeah.
I think what it really boiled down to was I think she was really fame hungry, and she had a reputation for not keeping friendships. I actually saw, if anyone's familiar with the show MILF Hunter, I saw they were best friends from high school. I saw her kind of just like stomp all over him, and they were best friends, and that should have been like a red flag to me. I think there was like maybe some jealousy that started happening there. Somewhere along the way, I didn't feel it. I really genuinely felt like this girl was my sister. No matter what, we were gonna like figure shit out. I think somewhere along the way, she did not feel that way. Yeah.
That's just fucking hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's like a question. Friendship breakups versus romantic breakups, which is worse?
Ooh, that's such a good question. I've only had one friendship breakup, and it's that one.
So that's a big one.
So I don't even know if I can like even answer that. Yeah. I would say the friendship one, but I haven't really had those.
I've had a couple of friendship breakups, more romantic breakups. But the thing about friendship breakups, I don't know, like when you break up with a boyfriend, or when a boyfriend breaks up with you, you're like, oh, well, I'm young. Maybe it wasn't going to last forever. This is what happens with relationships.
Yeah.
But when it's a friendship, it's just catches you so much more off guard, because you're like, wait, I didn't expect this to end.
Exactly.
Because like you don't expect friendship. You could expect friendships to like kind of fade away sometimes, but not like dramatically end in like a way that's like traumatic for everyone. And it fucks you up.
Yeah.
It fucks you up.
Yeah.
And on top of that, with yours specifically, you have the whole world judging you.
Oh,
the entire millions of people.
So you and Alex are publicly having this divorce.
Yes.
And Call Her Daddy is now up in the air, like who's it's going to be. And it was this thing that made you guys a bunch of money, I assume, and definitely famous.
Well, it made Barstool a lot of money.
I would believe that. I believe that.
Yeah.
And so then, like, what do you do when people are hating on you and being like, I'm Team Alex. Like, I think that this is right and you're wrong.
Yeah.
Do you just have to, like, get metal skin? Because,
yes.
like, I feel like that's the hardest situation to be in.
Yeah.
Unless you develop metal skin.
I mean, I had to develop the thickest skin possible. Like, now it's like I can read 20 horrifying things about me and it's like nothing.
Yeah.
I will say, though, I think that it was such a bizarre thing because I had my platform taken away from me. Yeah. Like I couldn't access the podcast anymore. I couldn't tell my listener, like I couldn't speak to them really. Yeah. I had my Instagram, but that was teeny tiny compared to the podcast and then Barstool, you know? And I think the most bizarre thing is to all of a sudden go from zero contact with your friend to they're putting all of your shit on blast. And I was just like, this girl knows so much about my life and about me. Like, what is she going to say today? What is she going to say tomorrow?
No,
like,
that's going to be like haunting.
Yeah.
That's like terrifying.
So I would wake up every single day just with crippling anxiety, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely horrifying. So you feel like the narrative was pushed in a certain way that wasn't necessarily
there's no question. Yeah. And they had to do it, and I see why they did it is because how are they going to keep, the listenership and stuff? They had to make me look bad or else the listeners were going to be like, well, what the fuck,
where did she go?
Exactly.
It's like so crazy that nowadays, especially, like so much of, we were just saying this actually right before we started rolling, like so much of your work and your real personal life, they should be separate, but so much of it nowadays for so many people is so blended.
And I know I sound like, I don't know, dumb or naive. Like, I would just never think to do that to her. So it was just like this really, it's kind of like also when you find out like your boyfriend has like been cheating on you and has like a second family or some shit. And you're like, no way is this the guy I've been dating.
It like rips the rug of reality out from underneath you. And
but
you're like,
you also did get to tell your side of the story, right? On your podcast.
It was significantly later. It was significant to the people that were following.
Right.
It wasn't really, I mean, I had to, within 2 months, like start my own media company, find a new place to publish the podcast. What is it called? Like, all of that shit.
Yeah.
While I'm
going through it.
Yeah. But I was dead silent at first for a while.
And you've had zero contact with Alex?
Zero.
Wild.
Damn.
Zero.
What would you do if she reached out to you?
Depends on the text. Well, let's just put it that way.
That's a very valid answer.
Yeah. And I think I've said this before. I'd probably send her a Venmo request. Like, I'm gonna need what she got, half 30 million after taxes, whatever. I'm gonna need.
Well, yeah, I'm glad you're taking taxes out. You're factoring everything and you're being fair.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Oh my god.
Post tax.
Yeah, but I need a cut of.
I'll give her that.
Oh my
Wild.
god.
Does it trigger you to be on a podcast with two girls who claim to be best friends?
Yeah, claim to be.
You know what?
We haven't known each other for 12 years.
No, you know what? It wasn't triggering, but this is the first time I was on Horrible Decisions, but I've been on there twice already. This is like the only other time I've been with two other girls. And I was like, that thought crossed my mind. Like, are these girls gonna are they in it for the long haul? Are they gonna last? Because it's hard.
Do you think we're gonna break up?
I don't.
Okay,
you
well-
guys have been best friends since high school.
Yeah.
Yes, but
She's not to be like, but we're breaking up.
No, here's the thing, and we're very realistic people.
yeah, I feel nothing ever because I'm so numb.
No.
I'm so numb.
And
that's not true. I feel everything.
I think we love each other very much, and I think in the healthiest relationships, you can talk about the relationship falling apart.
Absolutely. I think that we, we're in a marriage.
We are
in a marriage.
Marriages can end.
Marriages do end. Not all of them. Some of them stay forever.
So, Sofia Franklyn, how do you think our friendship's going to end?
I think
pitch with what you know about us.
This is not me trying to suck your guys' dick right now. Okay. I think that you guys are going to be in it for the long haul because you guys have the history. Like, you guys have been friends since high school, and it's not like work was like the thing that really, there's
I mean, that's
there.
a very sweet answer.
Well, Sophia, that's so
if you
sweet.
had to pitch,
though.
if you had to pitch us breaking up,
I guess, the good news is we did it for you.
Yeah.
We wrote down what
our friendship breakups will be, and we don't know what the other person can say. You want to go first?
I'm so excited.
So this is just like our thought because, obviously we would love to have a Call Her Daddy moment where we break up and become very
I would love
famous.
to be with you forever, but if we do
you want to go out in style.
We should at least pitch what it's going to be beforehand so that we're both aware of what's going to happen.
Sophia, you can be our Dave Portnoy.
Oh,
yeah, you can just get on and talk shit about both of us.
I'll take over this fucking podcast and release an episode just like
slamming
outing both of you for everything.
We'll tell you all of our details.
We'll tell you all of our deepest, darkest secrets.
Separately.
And I'll try to up the ante and I'll be like, no, Sydney said this, Olivia. Like, Olivia, you got to give me more shit.
I think we're exactly on the right page.
I do too.
Okay, so my girly little prediction is that Olivia and I will be doing something that we normally would do. And I, the god of mischief, appear to Olivia, who is in captivity. And I want Olivia to join me and leave Sakar. And Sophia, have you ever been to Sakar?
That sounds like a place in the Bible, and I also sound like an idiot, but no, I have not.
Have you ever seen like a Yelp review of Sakar?
Is that from like Thor?
Okay, so it's the fourth planet from the star Teo.
So I would not hear about
and then
that.
I want Olivia and I obviously to live and not return to Asgard, because if we return to Asgard, of course, we'll die at the hands of Hela, the goddess of death.
Oh yeah, well I mean, who the fuck else's hands would you die at?
So then I later betray Olivia.
Oh fuck! Oh my god!
So does that make me Alex to you, or?
No, actually, no, she's the Alex then. Because I wanted to go, right?
Oh. You wanted to go so that you wouldn't be killed by, what's her name?
Hela, the goddess of death.
The goddess of death.
Who was Dave? Who was me?
Great. Okay,
everyone's like, what the fuck are they talking about?
I then later betray Olivia just as they are about to, we are about to escape Sakar.
Oh, okay, now you're Alex.
So, I mean, classic. This is classic me. Yeah. However, Olivia sees it coming and electrocutes me.
Oh no!
Wow.
So I hate being put in that position.
I am then stranded on Sakar.
Against my nature. I would rather just die.
I am then stranded on Sakar while Olivia leaves for Asgard. And my last words to Olivia will be, I assure you, brother, the sun will shine on us again.
So I electrocute you, but you're fine.
Yeah.
Okay, that's more like me.
Oh, you're fine? Well, you survived.
I'm a god,
Well, you're
Sophia.
Loki, the god of chaos.
Oh,
that's what we're
the
getting
god
at, right?
of mischief.
Okay, but Olivia gets away fine.
Yeah,
like, she's good to go.
And I bring my giant hammer hammer and I run.
No,
away.
there's a whole cinematic universe. There are tons of movies of it.
Okay.
Listen, I think
yes,
that's
there are.
pretty close.
Yeah.
It's pretty close to what I wrote too.
Okay, Olivia, how do you think we're going to break up?
This is how I think we're going to break up. Okay. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the shed.
Perfect.
Olivia and Syd were getting ready to wed. Olivia was the groom and Syd was the groom, but Olivia didn't know her day would end in doom.
Doom.
Yeah,
Nice.
Wow.
Right at the altar, before the big kiss, the ground turned to fire and the sky turned to piss.
Nice.
Syd grew 100 feet tall and her head spun around, and she said, "You've been in a coma. None of this is real." Olivia woke up in the hospital with fright, and the nurses said, "Yeah, you've been in a coma, all right. Now run into the street and run into it fast. Ha-cha-cha-cha, rat-ta-tat-tast."
Well, that's beautiful.
Holy
So that's my pitch of how we're going to break up.
Christ.
And I actually don't think it could be anything but those two scenarios.
Yeah, what do you think?
Those two scenarios didn't enter my brain in any way, shape, or form.
Shocking. That's so
I
weird.
know it's bizarre.
I feel like the first second anyone would see us, they would guess at least one of those two
It's
scenarios.
also so weird because I feel like it's so relatable to you. I
Yeah.
mean, like, you wanted to go back to Asgard. Your previous partner was like, no.
Actually,
The
you know,
sky
and-
turned to piss.
the sky turned to
ground
that
turned to
part for
fire.
It was the night
sure.
before Christmas.
You woke up from a coma.
Yes.
The nurses told you to run into the street.
Yes. it kind of did feel like that.
Yeah.
It kind of actually did when it was all happening. But no, I think you guys are going to be good.
Well, thank you.
Did you hear?
I appreciate that.
the moment of pause.
The pause
In
and
that
the
pause,
shaky.
If this were a movie,
Good.
in that pause, you would see all of the montage of you with your former best
Right.
friend running in a field and skipping, and you're like, I think you guys will be good.
You're talking to a cynic, though.
I know.
So take that into account.
I really
It's okay.
appreciate that.
I
as
do
your-
too.
Yeah.
And the thing too is the best thing
Yeah.
is that if we ever break up,
Yeah.
we can do a reunion episode where
Yep.
we talk through our problems and we can call her Sadie.
Yeah, perfect.
Yes.
Because that's not what our podcast is called.
No, but we'll call her Sadie because we are
Perfect.
sad.
We'll both be sad. Absolutely perfect.
Okay, perfect.
I love that. Do you guys do therapy or anything like
I
that?
love
course.
therapy. I love
You
it.
guys do it
met us?
together. I
We
mean.
should
No,
do
but we
therapy
should.
together. Oh
We
my
should.
God.
It'd be
Yeah, I wish that was something we would have implemented like earlier on.
That's actually so smart.
You guys argue?
we have. I
We've
mean, like,
argued in the past.
we do. We'll have moments where we go like we disagree on things, but we're never like arguing.
No, I think any argument we've ever had, like, we got out when we were younger.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Okay.
if we were ever like, fuck, I have
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hormones. Like,
Yeah.
it was like, okay, cool, we're 19 and 18 and we both have hormones.
I think we've had moments where because we grew up together, we've
Yeah.
had moments where we were figuring out like who we were and what we are as like a
Individuals.
team. And I think that you have times where you go, oh, I thought this thing was okay, but actually it's not.
Yeah,
or
or like,
I
oh,
thought this
I
thing
thought we
wasn't
were-
okay, but actually it's fine.
Yeah, and that's honestly just so much better than never having those conversations.
True.
But yeah, no, now like the only thing we'll ever get into is one of us will be like, I think this is the joke, and the other person will be like, are you sure? And then the person will be like, yeah. And then we're like, okay. And
And it's like we're doing both
pretty
of
much
them.
it.
It's
That's pretty
fine.
much it.
Okay, Sophia, so your podcast talks a lot about sex.
Oh yeah.
You're like, are you like a sex expert? Are you a sexpert?
I would not call myself a sexpert. I would say I'm willing to talk about sex in a way that the most of the population would not. Like, I will be like, this is how you suck a dick, and I will tell you from start to finish, this is how you ride dick. Like, get up on your feet, you're rubbing your clit, you're saying, like, I'll be very graphic, very detailed.
Right.
Am I a sexpert? No, but I'm very real, and I've had a few sexual encounters, so I feel like I can speak on it.
Do you feel like when you have a new sexual encounter with somebody, they're expecting something because you are known as this, like, sexual person?
1,000%.
Yeah.
I think I underperform.
Really?
Because
That's like what
of
Pete
that.
Davidson said. He said
Really?
that he said that everyone, because when Ariana Grande was like, he has a 10-inch dick, he said every girl for the rest of my life is going to be disappointed because
Right.
I literally don't.
Right. Like, these guys are like, oh, she's about to suck my dick like so crazy. I don't think I ever sucked dick on a first encounter.
I'm fucking loving that for you.
If it's our first sexual encounter, you can eat me out and we can have sex, but I'm not doing the blow job and then like you come and it's like bye.
No. I think that's completely valid. I think the only real reason to have to give a blowjob in a
is
first encounter
foreplay.
is foreplay. But
I still even won't even do it then.
I think that's completely admirable.
I do too. And I think because of my history and the street cred that I have, like maybe I can kind of hold back for the first few encounters, you know?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's so
so
interesting.
funny.
Yeah.
Me saying I suck at sex, by the way. Yeah. And I have a sex podcast.
That's the thing Syd and I always talk about is like every piece of media portrays sex as this like crazy fucking thing.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel hesitant to talk about sex because my biggest fear is telling somebody, this is the way I do sex, and if you don't do it this way, then you're wrong.
Right.
Like that is my biggest fear. I would never, because I've had people shame me for things where I'm like, oh really? Like you don't like this thing, or like this thing is something you like and you don't, or like whatever.
Vanilla shaming is weird. Like,
but vanilla shaming, kink shaming, any kind of shame.
they're all the same.
Yeah.
But like kink shaming used to be so in like 10, 15 years ago. And then it's like, oh, you don't like piss play? Well, fuck you. Yeah. It's like, that's so interesting.
And it's so interesting of like, do you feel like there is like a line you have to navigate having a sex podcast where you're like, if a young girl is listening to this, does she think this is how you have to have sex? And if you do not have sex this way, you are wrong.
So I make it very clear, at least I try to say, this doesn't work for everybody. I always have that disclaimer. I mean, I remember on Call Her Daddy, what blew up was the Gluck Gluck 9000, which is the blowjob, and how to give like this nasty, just like slobbery, like you're dying for the dick type of blowjob. And I remember I tried that on one of my boyfriends, and he like grabbed my hair and was like, can you stop? Like, I don't know what porno you think you're in. Like, this is not it. And he liked to get his dick sucked completely different. I was also very embarrassed, by the way. That was like,
that's a horrifying experience.
I was horrified.
Any sort of rejection during sex,
there's
that's hard to come back from.
It haunts you for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah, and
every 20 seconds.
And I've never heard of getting rejected for being like over the top when it comes to men.
Too porny of a blowjob.
Yeah.
And it's, I think, pretty common. I've heard so many stories from my friends who are girls who have hooked up with men, and I've had experiences for sure, where people are like, well, this isn't the thing I like because this isn't the thing I have experienced or something. Or being upset that you're enthusiastic, which is like, shouldn't I be enthusiastic?
No.
Like, don't you want me to
from me?
want that? Like, you know, but like I had a friend who was literally like, a guy she was hooking up with was like, stop making noises. Don't talk.
It's like,
and it's like, are you okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's just like everybody's got a different fucking thing.
Everyone's gonna be into something different. I think so. When I do talk about sex, like sometimes it's generalized, but I always make sure to throw in the
disclaimer.
There is gonna be someone who's not into this, who's actually into the opposite.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who barely wants you fucking putting your mouth on his dick.
Right.
Yeah.
So then also, you know, speaking about like the idea of, you know, a podcast influencing younger generations, like, do you feel like Call Her Daddy was in certain ways not great for women and young girls?
Looking back, yes. I think absolutely. I think I was also really young. Like, I'm trying to think of when that launched. I was like 25, 26.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
How, like, we were just talking last night about how, like, when you're 22, you're one age.
Oh,
when
yeah.
you're 25, you are a completely different person. And I assume when you're 28, you're completely
I'm 29.
Different.
I am a different human than when I was 25, 26.
Yeah.
Looking back, I definitely think we said things that were not cool and not okay. But the thing is also even now on my podcast, there's going to be episodes I listen back to where I'm like, that wasn't cool. That shouldn't have been said.
But the thing is, as long as you can recognize it.
Exactly.
Or as long as you can look back and go, it wasn't my best. Because we all have that.
Oh, yeah.
I've said plenty of things that I am ashamed of. And they'll be on the internet forever, probably.
Yes.
And that's just part of it.
No, I think we need to shift the culture from like, you make one mistake and
Canceled.
you're fucked forever to like, you make one mistake, you have to learn from it, okay?
Yes.
Like, because that's actually human. Like making a mistake, learning from it and going like, like, gotcha. And understanding that everything fits in this big, weird context where like it's butterfly effect. And
it's also important to remember that everybody has a different idea of what a mistake is.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like some people might say this was harmful to me, whereas another person's like, actually, that was really helpful to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's you know, unless you're saying something that's like, oof, don't say that.
I also think it's like we do live in a culture where like if someone says something that is accidentally taken the wrong way, they're put in the same category as like fucking Harvey Weinstein.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, we gotta know those are different categories because then it diminishes like the really fucking bad shit people do. Because people do really bad shit. And that doesn't mean if you do something small or medium that's accidentally bad or that you regret later, that doesn't mean you shouldn't, you know, take accountability for it. Yeah. But it doesn't mean you should be punished for the rest of your life
forever
in the same
and ever
way that Bill Cosby is. You know
exactly.
what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, I was canceled for no reason. It wasn't because I said something racist or homophobic or anything. I was canceled because I had a business disagreement.
Yeah.
Right.
And so when I started my new show, Sofia with an F, I was like, I remember in the beginning being so fucking scared about anything that came out of my mouth. Like, could I be canceled for that? Could that piss someone off? Could that? And my content just wasn't me, and it wasn't like true to me.
Yeah.
So I had to let that go a little bit and be like, I'm gonna fuck up. I'm gonna say some shit I shouldn't say. There are obviously certain things that are like above a fuck up and will not come out of my mouth. But like I'm gonna fuck up at some point.
Right.
No, you'll make mistakes, and it's like, no, the internet kind of reminds me of my ex-boyfriend in that you never know what mistake you're gonna make, but if you make it will never be forgiven for the rest of your life.
That's abusive.
It's not good.
That's abusive, and
it's
that's
not ideal. But they're both. But like it's the exact same fucking thing.
Yeah,
exact same.
That's
thing.
a great analogy. It's true.
Totally crazy. And also, if you're dating someone who's like that, don't do that. Just
fair.
Just tip to the reader. Don't do that.
Fair. Sophia, we'd love to play a game with you.
Okay.
This is a game we've never played before.
No, it's an amazing game.
It's so fun.
I just see you guys with your notebooks.
Yeah, we've got our little notebooks.
Okay, it's really easy. Okay.
Okay.
The concept of the game is called Name That Picture.
We're going to show you a picture and you're going to explain to us what is happening in the picture.
Okay.
If you are listening to this podcast and not watching it, you're going to understand what it is because she's going to explain what the picture is.
Exactly.
You dumb
fuck.
Okay.
You dumb piece of shit.
You dumb
God
piece
damn
of
it.
shit. Thank you for watching. I am so sorry. Thank you for watching. Now, Sophia, let's start off with an easy one. You're going to understand what this is. I'm going to show it to the camera first.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So I need to be really descriptive here.
Or just even just
general
vaguely descriptive.
What is this picture?
Okay. This picture is of a white male and he's eating a salad that has absolutely no dressing. He is on a first date. He has his phone on the table, which is very fucking rude to do on a date. He has a smile like he wants to do some shit to the woman across the table from him.
Amazing.
That's an amazing
We
description.
would have taken that description. We would have also taken businessman eating a salad.
Okay.
Olivia?
Okay. Here's the next one. Okay, we're showing it here.
Do less.
Okay.
Do less, Sophia.
This is our current one. Okay, here we go. What's this?
Okay, this is a family, grandma, granddaughter, and they're playing chess.
Yep.
That is checkers.
We also would have accepted checkers.
That is
Amazing.
checkers.
Good
That
job.
is not chess.
But yeah, that was good. That was
Amazing.
Good.
Okay, Sophia, this is a really good one. This is the photo.
You guys keep hitting
And
me
then-
with curveballs.
And then, Sophia, if you could just explain this picture, that'd be awesome. Just a simple game of name that
Just
picture.
explain what that is.
So that is a picture of me on a stripper pole stripping for a politician named Rudy Giuliani.
Okay.
You can see it on my Instagram, Sofia with an F, Franklyn with a Y.
Oh, some self-promotion over here.
And that's basically it. That's basically it.
So this is a tweet where you say, thank you at Rudy Giuliani, ! What a day, what a day. And then it's you look great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
On a stripper pole and the back of Rudy Giuliani. And we know who Rudy Giuliani is.
Yes.
He's awful.
Horrifying.
So what can you explain?
So I wouldn't strip for the actual Rudy Giuliani. That would be against my political views.
Yay!
So I would like to just say that. Thank you. He is a very corrupt politician.
Yay!
The strip club owner had an uncanny resemblance to Rudy Giuliani.
Horrific.
And
That's
I thought,
a nightmare.
And I thought it could be to strip for him. It was like
it's
terrifying.
just a nightmare to strip for someone who looks like Rudy Giuliani.
And then acts like I would assume Rudy would act like take more clothes off type of thing.
Pass.
And I just thought it'd be funny to kind of just throw Rudy a tag,
I think. And did everyone on the internet love it and get that it was a joke immediately?
They did not. The comments, there was a very heated debate. I lost thousands of followers.
Oh my fucking God.
It was a joke. Maybe not to Rudy. I don't know if he's seen it, but it was a joke to me. I thought it was funny.
So
Here's the thing. It is amazing that you trolled the entire world.
You just fucked with everyone.
I will say, when we thought it was real Rudy Giuliani, we were like, oh, shit.
oh no, why did she do that?
To us, and we were so prepared to read you a list of things that Rudy Giuliani has done and go, Sophia, you need to know.
And
this.
confront me.
And then, or just to be like, don't do this.
Please don't strip for Rudy.
And then we took like 3 seconds to do our research. We were like, oh, fucking thank God.
And it was the most respect.
Yeah,
I was like, I cannot believe she set the internet on fire.
Yeah.
And was like, I don't
just
fucking
be like,
care.
fuck you, here we go.
It's crazy. The amount of people that are like, that was actually Rudy Giuliani, Sophia. Like, why are you doing that? But I guess that you guys fell for it. Like,
And it was so such a stupid thing to fall for. But
I wouldn't strip for him.
Everyone fell for it. And to honor that and to almost right our wrong of falling for it first without doing our research.
To make an ode to it.
Yeah. We've made some fake tweets that would also be shocking and horrifying if people saw them and didn't know it was a joke.
And we just want to share to you, this is our kind of our ode to you.
Yeah. Our ode to that tweet.
Our ode to that tweet specifically. Yeah. Would you like to show?
Yeah, okay, so here's mine.
I'm freaking out.
Okay. So we've got this.
Okay.
This is mine. It says, thank you at actual Joseph Stalin and at the real Zodiac Killer. So excited we got to share our bodies this crazy morning. Keep doing what you do.
That's beautiful.
So that's me.
That's beautiful.
And so, yes, I do have a men's body in this, in case you were wondering. And to have one under my clothes as well.
Explain to our audio listeners.
If you're listening like some asshole who drives, instead of watching, it is an image, a badly photoshopped image of myself on a man's body in a male threesome with Joseph Stalin's head photoshopped on one of the other bodies and the sketch of the Zodiac Killer photoshopped on the third body.
And the Photoshop is horrendous.
Yeah, and the Photoshop is horrible, and it's a tweet.
We have a team that does that, and it's Olivia.
And it's me when I'm drunk.
Apologies to the social media manager. That wasn't
Olivia,
me.
you are fired.
It's me when I'm drunk.
Okay, that's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
I made a tweet as well. My tweet is, thank you at the real Kim Jong-un and at he who shall not be named. Honored to have had sexual relations with Lord Voldemort and given birth to Kim Jong-un yesterday. What a day. What a day.
Show her the... See Kim Jong-un just coming out of
Oh my God, he's coming out of your pussy.
He's coming out of my
Out of your
vagina.
pussy.
That's how birth happens, I've been told.
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Full set of hair.
Full set of hair.
He was born with a full head of hair,
You know,
just like me.
I was born with a full set of back hair.
I hate that for you.
It's true, and it fell off, I think.
Is that real?
I think.
No, that is real. My mom reminds me constantly.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know if it's
We've
falling
heard
off.
2 horrifying stories about Sydney's birth today.
God, I
Yeah.
have so many.
But
Those
yeah,
are beautiful, you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We thought, might as well.
I don't know.
I
just do the same thing. Fuck with everyone.
I'm so flattered.
See if anyone thinks it's real.
Yeah.
I know. They're pretty good Photoshop jobs.
Yeah.
I mean,
beautiful and perfect.
I have no comment on that. It's kind of crazy what the media will pick up on, because the New York Post wouldn't write about my Rudy Giuliani post, but like they wanted to write about my TikTok that
so
went
fucking
viral.
funny.
Right.
Why?
Your TikTok that went viral was...
It's the merch I'm wearing. I have options, and I'm not even trying to plug it right now. I know.
Yeah.
I know what it
Sophia,
sounds like.
You don't need to plug anything on our podcast because no one knows who we are. So
Listen.
you plugging on our podcast would be like a lost cause.
It would
You'd
be like,
oh, my dad knows.
telling
how.
someone on the street who doesn't speak the same language as you about your
just
business.
save my breath.
This is just in
No,
case.
you can.
No,
You
no,
can.
no.
But
This
just-
is just in
you're-
case my dad, Danny Heller, wants to buy the merch.
Yes,
Go for it.
Here's the thing.
Danny,
It's
this
really
is for
good fucking
you.
merch.
Danny, there was a TikTok. It did go viral, and I said, "This is how to let a guy know you have options. You have the server bartender send you a shot and be like, oh, some guy sent you the shot in front of your date. And the New York Post picked it up. The Daily Mail picked it up. And I'm like, is this what reporting is these days? This is what we're
I'm pretty sure there's a war
on?
going on.
Yeah, there's definitely a war and a lot of public tragedies that I'm not even going to get into because this is supposed to be a comedy podcast.
Yeah, that. And out of all the things I've done, stripping
out of all the things
for
you've done
Rudy.
in your whole life.
Yeah.
Really wild.
And have you ever done that? Have you ever ordered a shot to yourself?
I have not done it personally. I do think
That's
it
why
will
there
work.
should be articles about it.
Sometimes you teach things that you have not done yourself, but I really do think it's something that would work.
Well,
Valid.
Sophia, those who can't do, teach.
Exactly.
That's a really good point. That's a really good point.
That was actually the quote I was scrambling for.
Here's a fun fact. All three of us grew up around a large Mormon population.
Oh,
We did.
Isn't that kind of niche?
We grew up in Agora Hills, which is a lot of Mormon people, a lot of Persian people, a lot of Jewish people. It's kind of a lovely melting pot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know about soaking?
Absolutely.
Do you want to explain to our
Yes.
audience?
So there is soaking, which is basically when you stick your penis in a vagina, but there will be no motion. You won't hump.
Right.
You will just, as it's called, soak it,
Yeah, you just
marinate
soak it
it, park it.
It's not sex if it's not moving.
Right.
And therefore, God can't see it.
Yes.
And isn't there an addition to soaking where someone else can jump on the bed to move you?
I've heard jump on the bed. I've also heard you can have your friend go under the bed, put their feet up on the mattress, and move it up and down for you so you can get the friction.
And here's
That's
the,
Still not
that's-
sex, though.
That's like,
here's what I have to say.
the hardest thing I've ever imagined.
You're bringing more people into the equation. That is way kinkier than
Right.
just
that's-
normal sex.
I feel like that's more sinful. Like, I feel like there's more sin to that. And I don't even know if I believe in sin.
I don't think you do.
I don't think I do.
I mean, the poop hole loophole.
Jesus.
That's a new term for me.
I didn't even know
Is
that
it?
term.
Well, I'm Jewish and we don't care.
Yeah. Yes. Jewish people don't.
The poop
Zero.
hole, and that's crazy because it's like I feel like that's all way kinkier shit than just
Right.
classic penetration.
The
Yeah.
poop hole loophole.
Wow. Have
Not
you,
sex. It's going in the
it's-
butt.
have
Can't
you
get
seen-
pregnant that way.
That's true. That's true. Unless
They have a
Unless
point.
you're created wrong. Yeah. And your uterus is in your colon.
Not wrong, just different.
differently. Differently.
Just different.
Have you seen The Mormon Bachelor?
I don't think anyone's seen the Mormon
I
No,
just wanted to
is
shout
that
out
a
The Mormon
thing?
Bachelor. It's a YouTube channel
Olivia and I found it
that
and
we
it's
found,
insane.
and it's literally kids from NYU.
It's
making-
BYU.
Why did I say NYU?
I
Because
was
you're in
about
New
to
York.
say,
'Cause
what
it's kids
Mormon
from NYU.
people
No,
are
it's
at
kids
NYU?
From BYU making a Bachelor series where like the first date is a talent show kind of a thing, and it's just it's worth a
That's
serious binge.
incredible. What is it called?
The Mormon Bachelor.
It's not called that. We call
Is
it
it
that.
not called that? I don't
Okay,
know what
so
the fuck it's called. Then I have no idea.
BYU.
I think it's called like the BYU Bachelor, but I could be wrong. But it's the Mormon Bachelor.
I feel like I'm gonna put $100 on the fact that it's the Mormon Bachelor, and that's
I've
research it
lived
right
that.
now.
let's look it up.
It's
I mean,
probably
I've
not
lived
called
it.
that.
Yeah.
I don't even need to watch the show. I've lived it.
Yeah.
Plenty of my ex-boyfriends went to BYU or Mormon.
Oh,
Yeah.
did you have sex with a Mormon person?
Yes.
What was
was
that
it?
like?
It was great. He
yeah.
actually lost his virginity when he was 31. He was substantially
To
older
you?
than me. No.
Okay.
To someone else.
Okay.
So he left the Mormon church and
Okay,
then
okay,
decided.
okay.
and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
decided. But
then
it
you
took
were-
till he was 31.
You were
Yeah.
how old?
He was 17 years older than me.
Oh.
That's the oldest I've ever gone.
And he
Okay,
was Mormon.
okay.
Oh,
Yes. But he had the mind of a 20-year-old.
Right, that makes sense. That's how
No
it goes.
question.
Okay,
Yes.
well that happens. It's called Provo's Most Eligible.
You know what?
Provo.
Today I lose $100. It is called Provo's Most Eligible. It's worth a watch. I would highly
Holy
recommend it. But yeah,
shit.
we all grew up around a bunch of Mormon people. We did improv with a lot of Mormon
I
people.
still have so many Mormon
yeah.
friends. Wild.
We have a father figure who is Mormon.
You wouldn't expect us to be friends with so many
No,
Mormon people.
especially because
No.
we're so fucked up. And
You would expect them to be like, not them.
and I think they probably still are. But I love the.
They just
the
talk
people
about you
I
guys
love,
behind
I
your
love.
back.
I don't even know. I all I know is
Yeah.
that I have so many lovely Mormon friends, and I have no idea how they put up with me.
That's
Yeah.
so interesting. I do too. I still have them. I think the Mormon culture is very specific in Utah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was like that in Agora
It's
Hills.
probably more specific in Utah.
Yeah, I think it was very niche.
Yeah.
Like, I think maybe the Mormon people where you guys grew up are maybe a little bit more open.
I would
not
put
as,
money on
not
that.
as cliquey,
Yeah. Yeah.
But-
There were like there were Mormons who were like, oh, I'm in the LGBTQIA club.
Yeah.
And like,
Yes.
you know, that's
Yes.
lovely.
Probably not as much of a
I
thing.
think
Not
probably
as- not as
less
much
of a thing
in
in
Utah.
Utah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
well,
funny.
this is fantastic.
This has been incredible. You guys are fucking hilarious.
So your podcast is called Sofia with an F.
Yes.
Where can you listen to it?
Anywhere you listen to podcasts,
Amazing.
anywhere. And it's Sofia with an F. It's Franklyn with a Y. My TikTok is Sofia with an F, Franklyn with a Y, and the number, is it 0 or 1?
Oh my God, you don't remember?
I don't know.
Those are two pretty
You know
easy
what?
to remember numbers.
Put 0 or 1, and that's where you'll find me.
Find
Thank
out
you.
yourself if it's 0 or 1.
You guys let me know, please. But
Yeah, we'll put it down below.
We'll send you a secret letter after this.
Yeah.
And it says either a 0 or
Yes.
a 1. And if anyone else opens it, they'll think it's a code for some
Yeah.
end of the world shit.
Thank you for hanging out with us. We're a lot, and so I apologize.
No.
Well, I appreciate you. You shut up. You shut up.
I was not.
Sorry.
The
That was my
phone's
phone.
going off. I was not expecting to have this much fucking fun. You guys are hilarious. Thank you so much for having me on. I need to have you guys on my show. We need to
Oh my God,
figure
yes,
that
that'd be
out.
so fun.
We would do
I would love
anything.
that.
We think you're awesome.
Yeah, I was telling them earlier when I heard, two TikTok girls, I thought it was two 16-year-olds doing the Renegade.
That's a
And then when you guys
horrifying
sat
image.
down, I was so
You were like,
pleasant.
they're much older, maybe 40 or 50.
Maybe that's too
I'm like,
old.
I did my research and I'm like, these girls are fucking smart and really fucking funny.
Well, Sophia, we're
And we did
guilty of
our-
the exact same.
we did our
because we
research
were
on
like,
you, and we're
well,
like,
I
oh,
don't
thank
know.
God it's not
We're
Rudy
like, I don't
Giuliani.
know. It might be Rudy Giuliani. And then 5 minutes later, we're like, oh, it's not.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Such a
So
relief.
We're both guilty of the
Yeah,
exact
so
same
we'll go
crime.
out into the street, do the Renegade in the middle of the street.
And you can still find Rudy
and you
Giuliani.
can go and track him down.
Let him know that you're available for dancing.
Yes. Moral of the story, don't believe everything you read.
Yeah,
don't
Holy
believe
shit,
anything you
shocker.
read.
Don't believe anything.
Any
Don't
of
believe
it.
anything. Never believe anything. Run away.
Thank you guys for watching. If you would like to subscribe to us, that'd be amazing.
If you don't, that's also valid. You do whatever you
it's
want.
your
It's
choice,
life.
and you have consent to do consent.
You
have to consent to doing
to do
that.
what I'm Olivia.
I'm Syd.
And we're at Syd and Olivia on everything. This is the podcast Syd and Olivia Talk Shit. This is our wonderful guest, Sofia Franklyn. Thank you guys so much for watching.
We will see you next Tuesday. Bye.
Isn't that so fucking fun? Slipping one in there.
Lovely.